is Tuesday, time to vibe. We're talking real life, no need to hide. From stress to school and all the feels, we're keeping it real, yeah, this is real. Team Talk Tuesday, we're here for you. Laugh it out, cry it out, break it through. Friends, fam, and all that stuff. We're stronger together when life gets tough.
Hey everybody, this is Felicia Carter with Making Life Happen. This is your life coach. I am coming to you because we were talking about bullying last week and we're going to continue the series on bullying. And what I want to talk about this week is going to be the effects of bullying. Well, let's take a little bit of a recap from last week. We talked about what is bullying, the type of behaviors, how it hurts you, the control, the physical, the verbal, the social, the online, cyber bully. We talked about all of that last week. And so this week we're going to get into the effects of bullying. And we're going to talk a little bit about how it dampers our spirit. It hurts our mind. It hurts our physical body, because a lot of times what we don't understand is when we're holding stuff in, that is affecting our whole body. It's like it's better for you to release things and let it out and let it go than it is for you to hold on to it. So let's talk a little bit about the emotional bullying. The emotional bullying is something that where you're going up and down, kind of like a roller coaster. It's like one day you're fine, one day you're not. I'm okay, but you're afraid to speak out. You're afraid to let people know exactly feeling because you don't want to be made fun of. And then that type of emotion, the emotions begin to give you anxiety. And when your anxiety hits, sometimes you know how to control it, how to do your deep breaths and so forth and so on, to try and get your level back to where it is. Some people may even be on medication. It may be several different types of anxiety that you may go through. And a lot of people, some that go through anxiety, they don't talk about it, but you have you can break out in hives. You can break out in a rash. It's not only your heart racing, or you feeling some kind of a way inside. It can have like a physical appearance as well. And so these are part of our emotions that we go through. And then a lot of times there are people that are, they're depressed, but they're functional depression, have a functional depression, which means they're not sitting at home alone and trying to figure out what they're going to do. A lot of them are functional depressions, because I can speak personally about being functionally depressed. There was a time in my life where, here recently, when I was, I'm going through some stuff right at this moment. And I would lay around in my bed and I thought, oh, okay, Christmas movies are going to make me super happy. I'll just watch my Christmas movies. I'm not going to, get into that depression. Everything's going to be fine. And lo and behold, I got to the point where I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to be by myself. And then one day I was like, I can't do this. This is not who I am. Despite the amount of pain that I'm in, I cannot do this. I need to, get up and move around. I need to start doing things. I need to, be out, serving people, be out, talking to people, because that's what I was called to do. And, my biggest fear was, getting rid of the gift that, that has been placed in my life that God has given me. And I had to work myself through that depression. And I also, I had to go seek help for myself as well. And there's no problem with that, because coaches need coaches. And, psychologists need psychologists. What is the other? I can't think of the other one. Psychiatrists. Yeah, they need, psychiatrists. Everybody needs some type of assistance in their life in order for them to get past whatever they may be going through, in order for them to move forward. So that's what I had to do, because I became depressed, and now I'm at the point where I have a functional depression. which means I can go out, I can be around people, I can laugh, I can smile, but they never see what's actually taking toll on the inside. And that's not a healthy way of life either. So again, we're working through that. And it's like, don't sit here and think that I'm not an effective coach, because the thing is, being a coach, being a psychiatrist, being a psychologist, being a counselor, being all that, you have to understand that no matter if you're going to talk to someone, you don't know what that someone may be going through. But everybody wants to sit back and say, okay, well, I'm not going to talk about that. Or they don't need to know about that. But no, you have a coach that is real. And I'm telling you what's taken place in my life. And I'm not speaking depression over my life. I'm coming through it. What was, and what is, and what's going to be is where I'm at now. So that's not something that I speak over my life. That's not something that I wanted to happen in my life, but it happened. And you want to know the reason I feel that it happened is so that therefore I could be a better person for you. As I tell everybody, there are things that you go through in life that is not about you, it's about somebody else. And I feel at this moment that's what it's for. It's for me to help you through the way that I know the what helped me to get through what I went through. So, and let's talk about low self-esteem. I've also gone through that. So I've had low self esteem, most of my life because of being bullied. And, when I was in school, they would talk about me being fat. They would talk about me, wearing braces. They would talk about me wearing glasses. They would talk about me in so many different ways that they didn't realize that they were, hurting my feelings, and I was trying to find comfort in the wrong ways. And so, kids can be cruel, kids can be mean. So my esteem was really low, and not having the proper tools back then. So I say I decided, okay, if there's no one that can really give me the guidance that I feel that I need, I'm going to be that person to give everyone else the guidance. So when I was in high school, I became a peer counselor to help kids that were going through certain situations such as myself, because I didn't feel that I was worthy. I didn't feel that I had a voice. I didn't feel that I was, liked or loved by my peers, because it's like, yeah, they could talk to you while they were in your face, but as soon as they got into their little circle or their group, they wanted to talk about you. And you know what? They would, make jokes about me, as I stated in the last segment. And so I would always like do the punchline before they could even make fun of me. And then it's like, there were so many things in life that, I could speak about, but we're just going to continue on keeping it at bullying, because I had a speech impairment, and sometimes I talk with a list, but I really try to control it because I had to wear braces for like 2 years in order to get that under control without, having that list. But, again, kids are cruel. And hey, I think, now I just tell them thank you for all the people that made fun of me, all the people that talked about me, all the people that were very cruel to me. I say thank you, because now I have the opportunity of helping other, adults, other children, and, telling my story about the bullying. Because, see, back then it wasn't bullying, it was just, deal with it. And so, yeah, that's not where we're at now. Now it's something where you can actually get in trouble for being so disrespectful to another human being. Let's talk about your academics. This affects you being bullied. Your academics, you could be a straight A student, but once people start, making fun of you, once people start talking about you, once people start, putting you in that category, or, stuff like that, your performance starts to fail. And again, I can tell you my story. Because of my lisp, I had a hard time reading, saying words, and speaking in front of people because of being made fun of. And it was a little difficult, but there are things now that I'll if I don't think about the harsh words that were said during that time, I do okay. But when I can't pronounce a word correctly or I get stuck pronouncing a word, then all the emotions start to flow. All the remembrance of what was said back, when I was in school, all that starts to come to the forefront again. And then I get stuck. But see, this is what people don't realize. We always say, let it go, let it go. But we can let it go until that trigger hits. And when that trigger hits, that's when everything starts to take place all over again. Then you have to work through your steps to get back to where you need to be. And then there becomes a time when you just avoid school. You don't want to go to school anymore. How come you don't want to go to school? And there are kids that I talk to that don't want to attend school because of them being bullied, but they don't want to say that, there so and so is messing with them or so and so is calling them names, or they don't want to, confront because they're afraid that they're going to get beat up. And we, sometimes don't have the protection that we need in our school systems, in our teachers, or the people that are supposed to be there to protect us, because they'll just tell you, oh, that's just how they are, oh, it's okay, we're not going to worry about it until something detrimental happens. I never understood why we had to do that as adults when they're telling you that this person is making fun of them, or this is happening, or they're pushing them, they're putting their hands on them, or they're making fun of them because they're smart, and you see a change in them, but it's okay for the bully to stay the way the bully is. Well, I'm here to tell you, boys and girls, young ladies, young men, men, women, it's not okay. It's not okay, because you know what? This even happens in the workplace. And people want to make fun of you because you may not grasp something the way that they expect you to grasp it. So it's just not in the school systems. It's in the workplace too. But that's a topic we'll get to when we're talking about grown people. The next topic we're going to talk about is our physical. The headaches, the stomach aches, the sleep issues. Headaches. Let's talk about that. A lot of people have migraines and have headaches because of how they hold stuff inside. They don't want to release that. And you go to the doctor, they want to do neurological testing, they want to do all these studies on you because they want to get to the root of the issue of why you have headaches, instead of asking the main question: what's happening at home, what's happening at school. Because see, not only are you may be getting bullied at school, you may be getting bullied at home by your siblings. And yes, that is a thing. And no, don't tell mama and daddy, because that may be mama and daddy's favorite. I don't give a care what nobody says. Parents have their favorites. Even though we all try to treat our kids as equals, every child doesn't feel like they're treated as equals. So, just saying, again, that's another story. But I wanted to bring that to your attention. Siblings can be bullies too. When you're dealing with a headache, it's because of the pressure that you're going through. There's times when you have that stomach ache because you're holding it in, and your body's beginning to change, and you don't know how to do what you need to do. Like letting it out. Then it becomes, where you have, like, you're vomiting, you're having diarrhea, and you can't get your stomach under control because your nerves are bad, and you don't want to go to school. It's like you have, like, oh, you can have everything all at one time. You can have the headache, the stomach ache, the anxiety, and all these issues going on at one time. And it's like you don't know how to deal with it, but you don't know who to talk to. So, and then let's talking about sleep issues. there are times when you're going through the depression, you're going through the anxiety, and it's like you can sleep, but then there's times you can't sleep. It's like, sometimes it feels like insomnia because you're up, more than 24 hours and you keep going, you keep doing what you're doing. And it's like, you feel sleep deprived, but you can't sleep. And you don't know why you can't sleep. It's because your body's, going through all this trauma that, that's taking place at this time. So don't hold back when it comes to it. I reach out to you guys and I tell you, hey, no, I'm not a psychologist. No, I'm not a therapist, but I am a life coach that can help you get through what it is that you're going through. I have the certifications and I have something much more greater. I have the life experience. I'm not talking to you about something that I've never gone through. I'm not talking to you about something that it's okay for people to say, just get over it. Because back when I was coming up in the 70s, that was our we don't talk about that. You keep that at home. If they're messing with you, beat them up. If they beat you up, then you get your butt when you come home, and you got to go back and you got to fight again until you win. That's how we came up in the 70s. But that's not how you have to do it now in the 2000s. Now you can seek guidance. You can seek help. You can seek assistance. There's so many different resources out there. And I can tell you right now, every coach is not the same. Every psychologist is not the same. And every, what's the other one? I forgot. But anyway, they're all not the same. So our last point that we're going to talk about today is long-term trauma. Long-term trauma is trust issues and mental health struggles. I have trust issues because of what I went through. And everybody tells me, oh, you just trust everybody. You just trust everybody. No, I don't. It may look like I do trust everybody, but I don't. I'm kind to everyone. Yes, I am. Because that's what God called me to do. He told me I had to love everyone. And that's what I do. But never does the Bible say that I had to trust your ways or like your ways. So I try my best to love on everybody the best way that I can. But trust is something, once it's broken, it's hard to come back. I'll continue to love you, but would I give you that trust that you once had with me in the beginning? Probably not. But I'll continue to love you because that's who I am, and that's what I was called to do. Mental health struggles. There's a lot of us that deal with mental health issues and we don't understand what they really are. There's so many different struggles that we're going through mentally. The foggy brain, can't think clearly, forgetting, don't know where we're going, how to stay focused, how to stay grounded. But there's much more than that. And throughout this segment, we're going to touch on those mental health struggles because I feel that it's very crucial that we talk about it. The one thing I want you to understand, that here in these segments, we're going to talk about real stuff that some people don't want to talk about, that they're afraid to talk about. But I'll tell you the reason that I can talk about it is because I've been through it, I lived through it, and I'm healing from it. Some of it I've already have healing from, but there's some stuff I'm still in the process of healing with. So, with that being said, we're going to close out this segment, and I hope that this segment helped you. These were the effects of bullying. Again, emotional, academic, physical, and long term are the topics that we had for this segment. So, again, you ever need anything, you need a coach to talk to, my number is again 760-620. Sorry, wrong number. 760-332-8022. 760-332-8022. You can reach me through Making Life Happen. That is the phone number for the Making Life Happen line. And with that being said, I want you guys to remember to stay focused, stay grounded. Don't allow nobody to ever bully you. If you need a coach to talk to, give me a call. Again, this is your coach Felicia Carter. I will see you next week, next Tuesday for your Teen Talk Tuesday. Next segment. Thank you.